Hi friends, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel Leela Webdev. In this video, we will learn about the template syntax, how we will be using in the vue.js templates. If you try to see about the single file components which we are trying to use it, so we are using a special type of HTML binding in which we are using a double mustache type of things. So this one actually the vue.js uses this one. So this is called as an HTML based template syntax. So that we can render the DOM in the component instance data. So all the view templates generally, if you try to observe, these are syntactically valid HTML, but see, these are parsed by the HTML parsers. So let's try to see some of the things which are which are some of the important concepts which are available in the template syntax, so that you will be feeling very comfortable when you are trying to write an application code using this template thing. The first concept which I want to explain you, let's create a component and we'll try to do all those things. So here I am using template syntax.vue. This is the file I am creating, and here let's go to the main.js, and here I am declaring this one template syntax, and here I will be using template syntax, same thing. I want to use the same thing, but we need to import it here. So here you will be having template syntax and template syntax. Now we have imported in the app.vue. In the bottom only I will use this template syntax and I will close it. So you can also use the self closing. That's it. Now if you try to see the output, so template or script is required. Okay, we have created it. We are not using it, right? So let's try to create template, and here I will be writing new template code or something like this, and I will close the div. Now if you see output, we are able to see this template code, right? The first concept which we want to learn it is the text interpolation. So this is the most basic form of data binding that is available, is the text interpolation, and we will represent this one using the mustache syntax, double curly braces. Let's try to see it. So here this is our template, right? So here I am using the script, and we know about these all the things set up. So now I can create a variable, something like constant message is equal to hello world. I can write it like this. So this is a hello world, and if I want to use it this one, so here I can use this message like this double curly braces, and I can use it like a message. So this is called as a text interpolation. Now if you try to see the output, here we are able to see the hello world. So this one, so now here the mustache, so the message, the variable will be replaced by this one. So here I am not using any ref or reactive. We will try to learn about this one all. So if we use this ref, how this template will behave, and if we don't use the ref, how this variable will behave. So we'll try to learn it in the afterwards. So now I have used here the message variable. I am able to access this one in the message. Now for example, let's say that if you have an HTML, for example, let's say you are having this one as an h1, and also here you are having this one as an h1. Okay. Now if I try to see the output, we are able to see the simple representation as a plain text, not as an HTML. But I want to see this text as an HTML. So in order to output the real HTML, so we need to use a new one that is nothing but v-html. So this is an inbuilt directive which is available in the vue.js. So we need to use it like this. So here I will be using like this, and there is no need to use this one. So now whatever the data it is there, it will be rendered as an HTML. So if you try to see here, so now this one is rendered as a HTML. Okay, so this is a directive. So anything directives, if you try to see in the view, those are prefixed with the v hyphen. So whenever if you are trying to see v hyphen anything prefixed means, so those are nothing but what I can say is those are called as an directives. So now we have read about this one. So now next, so we should be very careful while we are using this v-html. Why? Because it is very dangerous, because it can easily lead to excessive vulnerabilities. So that is the thing. Only use v-html on trusted content and never on user provided content. So you never do this v-html on user provided content like comments or anything. So next one is then attribute binding. For example, let's say that I am having in here id. Let's say here dynamic id. So this one is having my id, something like this. Now I want to use this id for this one or template code. So now normally what I can do, so here we will be giving something like my id, right? So here the my id should be replaced with this variable dynamic id. So for this one, what we need to do is, so we need to use v-bind like this. So now the id, and here you can give the variable name, that is nothing but dynamic id. Now if you try to see the output, how it will look like, let's see. If I try to see the inspect element, sorry, no, it's not console, right? And here if I try to refresh this page, and here we are able to see id is equal to my id. So now it has been replaced. So this is how we will be using. Now here v-bind is the normal, let's say, directive. Okay, it is also a directive. There is also a shorthand notation. So why? Because we will be normally using all the times commonly this one. Instead of writing that whole content v-bind, we can use simply like colon. Okay, from now onwards I will be writing like this. Colon id means it's a shorthand notation of the v-bind colon id, like that. Now if you try to see the output, then also it will work without any problem. So this is also one way of implementing. This is called as an attribute binding. And the another one is dynamically binding the multiple attributes. We can also dynamically bind the multiple attributes also. For example, let's say that I am having a list of attributes like object of attributes is equal to, so I am having an id which is the dynamic id. I can use it like this, and I am also having a class, it's a my container. Okay, so these two are the things are there. So I need to add as an attribute, so attribute name and also attribute value. So here I can use directly instead of using like this. So v-bind, and I can use it the variable. That's it. Now the id and class will be appended to this one automatically. If you try to see here, id, my id, and also class container has been appended to this element. So like this we can use it. Not only this one, in the template syntax we can also use the JavaScript expressions. For example, let's say that we are having here, and here you can write something like 1 plus 1. So this one also works. So it will give you an output of 2. You see here output. Not only like this, we can also use a ternary operators. So if message is there, yes or no, something like that, we can also use it like this. So here, for example, if message variable is there, like this I can use it. If message variable is there, then print as s or print as no. So now it will print as an s. Why? Because message data is there. If I try to see here, yes, we are able to see the s output. So like this we can use the expressions. We should not use the statements. We need to use the expressions. For example, statements means what I can say is, for example, this one is a statement. I cannot use where a is equal to 1. So I cannot use this one. So these are statements. So these are things will not work. And another one is, so the global axis, there are some restricted global axis to this one. For example, let's say that we can use a math or date format. So these type of things you can use it. And for example, let's say that the browser specific things, so user attached properties or browser attached things like window, these are not accessible in the template expressions. So these are the things you need to understand. So, and another one is, so for example, let's say that if I want to show you, so this one works without any problem. Math.random, something will be there, right? So here if you try to use it, so this works. Okay, so this one works, and date and also this one works. But for example, if I try to print window.document or something like this, if I try to print, so these things will not work. Okay, so these things will not work. So here it's gone. So we cannot read property window.document. Why? Because window itself will not be available. So this type of things is not available in the template. So this is one of the thing. And the final one before closing of this one, I want to tell you about the dynamic arguments. For example, let's say that I am having a dynamic argument like constant title is equal to title attribute name, or otherwise title attribute. Okay, I can use attr, and if I want I can also use the title value. Constant title value is equal to, this is title. I can also use it like this. This is title. So this is the attribute name and this is the attribute value. So here I can use it for this one. So like this colon, and here I can use title attribute is equal to, and here I can write title value. So here the attribute name is dynamic, which is coming from this one. If you want attribute name as dynamic means we need to use the square bracket. Now if I try to see the output, let's refresh this page. Okay, we are still using the window, I think. So let's remove this window. Now if I try to refresh this page, yeah, in the elements we are able to see the title. This is title, we are able to see it. So like this we can use it. And also we have something like event handling also. So we will be using something like v-on like this. For example, let's say that I want to use it like this, v-on click, I want to change title or anything, change title. Just I will be using some method, and here I can use it like this, function change title, and here I will be doing alert hello world. Okay, so this is the simple method I am trying to write it. If I try to refresh here, and from where for which one I have used it, I didn't remember for which one I have used it. Yes or no, for this one I have used it. If I click here, I'm able to see an alert, right? I'm able to see an alert here. So now here what I have used, this v-on is again another directive. Instead of using this v-on, we can also use @click like this, change title. So now this is an event handler. We'll try to learn more about these event handlers. Just I'm trying to show you the templates thing. Now click is a way, this attribute name, right? So we can also give this one as a dynamic event name. Also we can also give it as a dynamic. How can I give it? Is constant event name is equal to click. I can use this click. And here for giving this one, what I need to do is I need to use event name like this. That's it. If I try to refresh this page, and if I click on this one, so then also it works. If I change this one to mouse over, so when I try to do the mouse over, then it will execute. So if I try a mouse over, see, it's working. If I mouse over, see, without clicking only, it is trying to work. So like this, we can also make the event also as a dynamic thing. The event name also we can make it as a dynamic thing. So these are some of the things which I want to tell you. So still these are the main common things which we will be using in this project. So hope you understood about this template binding and the template syntax, how the template syntax and all those things works in the Vue.js. If you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you.